Greetings once again as you join our adventures -1, though in character that will happen at a thematically appropriate moment, as they explore Argenfolst, the lost headquarters of the Order of the Silver Dragon. When last we left our heroes, they had penetrated its depth but slightly and run into some revenants, bowing in deference inside the chapel. When they attempted to speak with them, they turned and attacked. After fending them off and handily dispatching a number of giant spiders before that, we will now pick up where we left off inside the chapel, give or take any opening statements or sentiments.
I'm just looking forward.
Then the stage is set.
Siguror desires a sword. The sword desires truth.
This is me asking humbly, do not kill us.
Fucking soul calorie traps.
Hey, I'm not trying to kill you. The enemies are trying to kill you. I'm on your side most
Just
of the
follow
time.
orders. Fucking Nazi.
Fun fact? GM guy follow? Like, talked about that once. It's been disproven that that's a legitimate excuse.
Well, yeah. Of course it has.
But like,
the Nazis are arguing it.
But like, nobody ever tells the other part of the story where the experiment found that that's actually bullshit.
Oh,
People tell the first part. I was like, I'm fascinated. Tell me more. Perhaps you should give your players more magic items. That's too far. He hated it because he told the truth. For the briefest of reminders, you're currently in a chapel. There are a couple of spiral staircases to either side of this chapel, in addition to some windows and a door, like to the left, that leads outside. If the window is to be trusted, there's like a small fenced-in area.
If the rest of the revenants are like these ones, they will attack us immediately upon us approaching. I'm not sure of our purpose here, then. If we are not to gain allies.
Out of character, did you mention that they were acting strangely for what they were? Like, they were being manipulated? From your check last week?
No, I don't think I have. Well, no, I think I said they're acting unusual.
Yeah. Your check determined that normal revenants don't act like this. They're usually more intelligent. These guys just kind of turned and mindlessly attacked.
They appear to be mindless, which means the very well the rest of them we find might be that way as well. If it is something that has a hold over this place, it might be defeated, and the revenants might help us after, but
May have something that was planted here.
that's a speculation, though. We could end up spending a lot of time killing our way through revenants only to find that there is no helping them and that we have wasted time on our quest.
Is there any word on how many was a part of their order?
Out of character, can I roll a history check?
I'm gonna say from like your consulting of history before, you know that there were tons before, but
They were a large order with many men, but that does not mean they all came back as revenants.
a lot of them died.
Well, yeah, death is a requirement for being a revenant.
I mean, a lot of the order, but yes, that's true.
Not all of them may have come back, however. It's funny that my other two characters can sense undead. Would they be able to give you a... Literally, both of my other two characters can do that. This one cannot.
I reacted because there's something else that you would know that I didn't know until reading the other day, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to you now. You also know that revenants have like a time limit for how long they last, even regardless of their goal, and that is nowhere near as long ago as this battle took place. Like you're still a little foggy, because I'm a little foggy, but you're pretty sure the limit's like 80 or 100 days.
And these been around for like 100 years.
Strahd has ruled this land and battled this thing, like, before he became a vampire, even.
So like these things have been around for like 1,000 years.
Yes. Which in and of itself is supposed to be impossible, though you are aware that this cursed land does plenty of funny things.
There's that one that was just wandering out.
Their souls. The souls of revenants after 100 days, they are sent to the afterlife, yes. Like the rest of, like most people. Or is it more like a cessation of existence?
Typically, yeah.
Okay. The only reason they would still animate in these bodies after so long is because they have become trapped here. Perhaps the mist does not merely trap the body, but the soul as well. It could explain why Irina's soul, Tatiana's soul, never left to the afterlife, because it is trapped here. This is why Strahd cannot pass on either. It could even explain...
Irina shifts uncomfortably, but says nothing.
Suppose that would
The people
explain.
you have, some of the people here, they act strangely, yes? You would say? Not like you or Ismark.
She says, I suppose. Ismark says, well, I would imagine compared to anywhere else, people act more strangely.
But there are people who are different from you.
Most certainly. Though I must admit, I have always attributed it to some people take the beating this land gives them differently. Though,
Would there be any you would say would be stranger than that still? Perhaps people who don't quite seem fully alive?
that might be a little... And he internally seems to think about something for a bit, like he's
That they are not
remembering, and
living their life,
and he,
but
he
simply
answers
going along with everything.
after a moment of like thinking or not thinking, but internally like debating about something, trying to phrase something a certain way. As he says, "Well, I would not go that far. There are unusual births.
How?
They're actually more common than not. Children that are born but do not cry. It's thought that this is just perhaps some result of being born under certain stars. It's common enough that nobody really thinks anything of it.
Can I roll some sort of intelligence check to determine why a child born might not cry? Maybe combined with medicine?
Not really, because you don't have. I'm going to say you don't have like enough to go off of.
Back
with
home,
just
there's
that.
usually a sign of sickness in the child.
That is what we feared too at first, but they grow up healthy enough.
But what if no... I do not know. If no souls can leave, like these revenants or Irina's soul, then would it not be logical that no souls may come either?
In these dark lands, almost anything is possible.
What
Though I
would
shudder
happen
to
if-
think of what would happen if that were true.
I think you may have seen what would happen if that were true. Child does not cry. You have people in these towns who sit in and drink themselves to death slowly. No joy, no laughter. Like an empty shell.
That would explain why a family member that was here before, main reason I am here, as I have said before, the ritual to lay him to rest did not work like it should have. He did not pass as all usually do.
If he is trapped here, he cannot pass.
Irina asks, is there a remedy for this? Some type of magic that could be employed?
Out of character, I have no idea.
And I'll say in character that you have no idea. Because this is largely beyond the scope of your normal studies.
It's only logical would be the death of the one perpetrating it all.
I do not think Strahd would purposely do this. It is his prison as well. Why would he? Someone made him what he was.
Endless king, followers, numbers that do not fall.
But in the book, he says that he made a deal. He did not wake up one day Lord of this land. Maybe indeed, but not in the way he is now.
It's true, it does. Did it specify what powers?
It merely says of death.
Perhaps if we could find out. Perhaps we could do something about those.
Now,
if his land has
the Lich made itself by going to the Amber Temple. That elf wants to go there in order to save his sister. It seems logical that it is a place where deals are made. Do you think...
It does.
Perhaps the ruler of death is trying to make...
It does, and it's been here for very long.
Perhaps the ruler of death is trying to make the land of the living a bridge.
This place goes nowhere, living or dead. It seems more cruel than anything. Like some sort of prison. There's no use talking about it now. When we go, we will find answers.
Agreed. More talk can be done later. For now, I feel we should look this place over, see if there's anything useful or anything that could be causing what is being done to them. Maybe. Although,
I feel
if
as
it's
if
true.
I feel as if we will find nothing but the undead. But
How far away?
Strahd knows not to come here. Perhaps clearing it out can give us a place to stay for a little while. I don't know.
That sounds like a good a task as any, to occupy our minds after such dour thoughts.
Well, if he cannot come here, mayhap there's something preventing him.
I do not think it is a physical force stopping him from coming here. I think he just knows that this place is one full of his enemies who would attack him on sight. As long as he doesn't know it's cleared out. Now let us continue on. Out of character, the rest of the place I checked out was the main hall, right?
Main hall and a little bit of the up above.
And where are we? Are we
Church?
You are currently towards the rear, like, of the first floor. The little bit up above is like a second floor portion that you checked out some of.
Did that second floor have a third floor? Or an entrance to a third floor? Excuse me.
You're not certain, but
What did that-
you think that it did because the place looked fairly tall,
Yeah.
and there were some spiral staircases you didn't go into, so you don't know, but like reasonably.
When we showed up and there was that like dragon shadow that was moving around, which direction did it go?
It flew across the main hall and then disappeared into some shadows, like on one of the other walls near some of the stairs.
Can we go that way?
Yeah, it would be pretty easy. A little bit of backtracking.
That's what I will suggest. If it is the shadow of the dragon, it might be trying to lead us somewhere.
Group turns around, heads back. The main head through the ruined dining room and then into the main hall. It is still as quiet as ever. However, or not however, you then move up stairs that are closest to where the dragon shadow disappeared, taking you to a second floor. Okay. You've already been through part of here before, in that there is a part towards the rear that had a couple of doors, but with your arcane eye, you knew that through those doors are like some spiral staircases that went down, and also a large portion of the floor that was like open, missing. So it's technically like a room that you've explored. Nothing's in it other than those staircases.
Right.
There are... This particular place has like a balcony that's in sort of a straight line U shape, and at the end of like both tips of the U's are more spiral staircases. There are also a couple of halls, like one leading to the left and one leading to the right.
Question real quick. If the two U's have tips, wouldn't that be a W?
No. But only very technically.
I think it's only if their tips touch.
Alright. Is there a staircase to the third floor here?
There might be.
Well, let's have a look around.
Depending on...
Search the room.
Well, it's not a room. It's kind of like there's like a hallway, and then there are like two other hallways that split off of it.
Oh.
And then there are spiral staircases at the ends
Okay.
as well. So you got a couple of spiral staircases. You could go up one or the other, and you got some hallways if you want to check out more of this floor.
Is it dark in here or up here?
It's a little dark. Portions of it are ruined, so there are like patches of light that show through here and there. So a light wouldn't be a bad idea.
Because there's still like enough shadows that something could be hiding in
Yeah, for sure.
it. Alright, I'll
Such as the land of Barovia.
take out a torch and... Which should we check first?
Which up?
We'll go right then.
We're going fast or slow?
Right hallway or right staircase?
Which direction does the staircase go?
Staircase appears to go up.
Let's go with that one then.
Are we going
We could
full
always
speed
come
or
down.
normal? Or normal speed or high?
I
I
if
pulled
we're
out,
stealthing or not.
I pulled out a torch.
Is a reasonable question.
I'll do whatever you guys want to do. I don't care.
I'm
Didn't
fine
anybody
with
say
normal. I mean,
This one.
Sure thing. You pass a hallway and you ascend some stairs. Narrow windows illuminate this dusty 5-foot wide spiral staircase. Ancient filth billows under your footsteps as you ascend these stairs. You can hear the sound of pages flipping as...
animated books!
Oh no. I don't think it would be that bad. As you come to a tattered black curtain hung in an archway.
Push it aside.
Hold on. Okay, give it a look over. I'm going to begin casting Detect Magic. That could be a trap.
19.
You look it over. You're not super sure what you're looking for, but you feel like if it's unusual, it'll reveal itself. And you look, and it's ripped. It's fairly dry. There's some errant threads sticking out here and there. You don't find anything unusual. It seems to be flimsily hung from a couple of nails in the archway.
Okay.
You can even see a little bit of floor, like, underneath it. Like, it isn't perfectly obscure.
Does my detect magic determine anything?
You detect magic. Can I get a reminder of its range?
60 feet.
Thanks. You do detect magic, but not from the curtain. There's some significant magic, a couple sources of magic, coming from your guys' right, and like to the right of the curtain as well, through what, like,
What school, if any?
Let me see if they answer that, or I will have to answer on my feet. Let us find out. I was lying. It was one source of magic, and I'm going to go out on a limb and just assume, without research, that magic items that give enhancement bonuses have their own unique auras, and say that you felt this before off of something else. You're like, yeah, there's something through the wall to your right, and to the right of the curtain as well.
Knowing the general layout of the castle, would the next room over be like the throne room, quote unquote? I know it's not like a castle, but...
Or like a storeroom?
Well, I'm specifically asking if it would be like a...
I don't think you know like that much about the layout to determine that.
Fair enough. Do I see a way to the right at all? And here I was, skipping over stone shape, because like, when would that come up?
You are busy like narrowing your eyes and like you're thinking, and it gets the attention of like the rest of your party that kind of like look. Specifically like you, while you're looking, like you also kind of feel something while you're standing here, like maybe just the tiniest bit of a draft coming from the wall. Which, given that Sasha has taken this wall to be important enough to like look at, if I may, it pushes your character to go, oh, maybe he's found something. Like kind of like reach out and like push. There's like a little bit of give. There's like a secret door here.
This wall is fake.
There's strong magic on the other side. I would prepare yourself. As soon as he starts reaching to open the door, I am going to cast a spell upon myself in order to get ready for whatever comes next.
Okay.
Yeah, I can sell.
Specifically, I'm going to cast... It's actually hard.
Ismark grips his sword.
I'll cast Fly upon myself.
Whew.
And I will also
Ismark draws his sword. I read a
spend a newly acquired 5th level spell slot on Tiny Servant to create 5 servants.
Damn.
You
You were carrying one Irene ago, right? Like the nice one?
I gave that to Irina.
Oh,
maybe. It depends on like if there's stuff in the room for you to hide in, unless you're gonna hide outside the rooms people go in.
And I'm specifically going to animate Whistler Blade.
You can roll
Simon
and
Richter.
If it turns out there's nothing, then I'll like say I'm sorry and like make it up to you somehow.
Yeah.
Sparky.
You can be attempting to stealth before entering.
Yeah, before entering.
Which one's
And
your
if there's
Simon
a way,
Richter?
then
Bottles?
you go.
Well, when he's moving the door, I was gonna hide, and then if anything for some reason comes out, I was gonna.
And if the situation changes in such a way that that's not possible, then I'll tell you.
Alright.
But otherwise,
Alright.
we'll do the thing.
Probably knows me anyway, but I got 13.
You do your best to disappear before the door is pushed open. First preparations are made, and then the door is pushed open, and you come into the rear of a very large room. It's gotta be at least 50 feet long and 30 feet wide. It's very spacious. It's also got like some rotted carpeting and some tattered curtains that give it away as perhaps some kind of maybe audience hall back in the day. There are weapons and shields that obviously once hung along walls that have fallen to the floor and have succumbed to rust. There's also a large wooden throne carved to resemble a dragon with unfolding wings facing
That's really dope.
3 tall windows to the west. You're coming in like on the side. There's a slumped figure. There's also on the throne. It's gaunt and armored, and one of its gauntleted hands is wrapped around the hilt of a greatsword. It turns, giving away that it is not simply a dead body. It eyes the 3 of you and commands in a voice like death, "Go away."
It speaks.
I will say to it, can I roll history to maybe recognize it? Like, is this dude famous?
Sure.
Okay. I would have loved that for an initiative or an attack roll or something. 31 on my intelligence history check.
As a matter of fact, you do. In fact, even as aged and weathered as he is, you recognize him anywhere. He was a very, very famous and valorous knight that traveled to here, like others that did travel to here, to join this order specifically, which also helps. You know him a little bit from somewhere else, and also from here. This is Vladimir Horngaard, commander beneath the true head of the Order of the Silver Dragon.
So he was like the dragon's lead knight. I
That he
will
was.
say, and I will like bow, and I will say, Sir Hornsgaard, we have come to seek the aid of your order.
He interrupts with a barking voice and hatred in his eyes. The grip on his blade tightens. He skips some of the stuff that's written because you actually spoke to him instead of just generically moving towards him. Though he does tell you, if you've come seeking aid, you have come to the wrong place. There is no creature that I hate more than Strahd von Zarovich, the cursed ruler of this land. But he is dead, and in a hell of his own creation. It has pained me to watch him slay and destroy, to shatter all that I held dear. This order, the virtue and beauty of the land, the innocent that he still drinks from, and my own beloved. But this fate of his, this punishment, is just, and I shall not aid, no. I shall destroy any that would seek to end that creature's suffering before eternity past.
Huh.
And I warn you, should you endeavor to do so, I shall destroy you as well.
So that hurts.
Oh.
Like, real bad.
Damn.
So, Sasha's gonna look taken aback for a second before saying, I understand, Sir Horngaard. I hate the devil as well. But it is not just him who suffers. We have brought with us one of his victims. He is drunk from her. He would kill her and have her join his brides in his catacombs. Would you really sit idly by and watch the others suffer when you could do something?
The slightest trickle of blood flows from like where he's gripping his blade, though he heeds it not, as he shouts, "What is one victim in the wake of 1,000, 100,000 or more? He pays with his suffering here, and those that are trapped with him is a fair price." His eyes burning as he says it, "a fair price for the eternal torment of that fiend. Now I warn you again, I shall not ignore your intent to show that wicked bastard mercy."
We have come face to face with the demon. He seems quite content, if not happy, with how things have turned. How he sits on his throne, ordering his groups of monsters.
It is impossible. I have been told, we have been told, that he suffers, and suffers eternal. The seer's words could not be anything but the truth. I feel it in my bones.
Madam Ava?
It has been too long, I know not.
Like me. One of my people.
It has been too long, I know not. I really trust her words. I can feel it. Even now, that horrible wretch writhes and seethes. He does his best to pile up his awful trinkets of past victories. He drinks forever from a stale goblet. If you think he enjoys his damnation, you are wrong. I would stake the lives of everyone who still follows me on it, and everything I have ever known. Now leave me.
Whispering.
Leave me to savor the only bitter joy that I could have left in this rotted world.
Like, quietly enough that it would be difficult for him to hear. Should we mention that we came across one?
Well, he wants you to actually leave.
Yeah, leave.
One
So
of his
we're
orders.
I
Seeking Strahd.
am going to... probably doesn't know or doesn't care.
He seems to think his order is dead. If there is some of his order that is holding to his leaves.
He actually spoke as if some of them were alive.
Yeah.
I mean, to you.
I will... Do I know the name of the dragon that he served?
Yes. In that it is an abbreviated version of what this place is called. In that the dragon is known as Argynvost. However, it is apparent that, dead though he may be, his blood has been set to boiling by this intrusion.
Oh, I know. I'm not going to try to convince him. I just want the next thing I say to make sense.
The next thing you say will likely start.
I know, Raven. I'm just...
And the dragon is a
I'm
good,
going to
lawful dragon.
fly up... Yeah, it's a silver dragon.
Okay.
I'm going to fly up into the air, my full movement upwards, so that when the fight starts, I'm not on the ground, and I'm going to say... And what was the dragon's name? Sorry, one more time.
Argynvost.
Argynvost.
If I am correct.
If Argynvost could see you now, I think he would despair all over again. Far more than any death blow dealt by the devil Strahd. You are not the man you once were. You are nothing.
As you are flying up, he raises from his seat, and then you are able to deliver, and then he responds, only instead of sitting, like he's already risen, and like he has like his sword now like in to hands. Howling spirits clad in armor weapons erupt from the floor at 6 different points as he shouts, "Vile intruders! Whelps! I shall destroy you!" Almost as if he heard you. He can't.
Right.
His
there's
hatred
something-
prevents him
It
from
is
responding
clouding
more
his
on the
mind.
nose.
Oh, that is an awesome initiative roll.
The exact opposite direction.
I know. You know what? Actually, let's,
Right.
Oh, duh. Your allies.
Or, right, okay. Those are bad rolls. Can I know you probably already rolled it, but I didn't see it. Can I use one of my portents on his initiative?
I suppose so.
His initiative is 3 plus whatever the modifier is.
Well, I mean, if you wanna do it like that, you can, I guess. You can use your abilities to give you better odds of winning the fight if you want.
I will,
Okay.
David.
Okay. That's all like that. Then we have Vladimir. Tell me, what did you get?
16.
16 for the Segmeister. What about you?
12.
12 for Crack. What about
16.
you?
I rolled a 1 and then I used my lucky. Because
D16 for Sasha as well. Oh. Foolishness.
So the spirits that he called, do they seem like actual hostiles, or is it like my feature?
Absolutely hostile.
Okay.
They draw
They're like some
weapons,
sort of
they
like
draw
spirit
swords,
warriors.
and they're moving into attack.
Okay.
he has ghost martyrs.
Unless he's like a level 14 fucking
No, he has,
barbarian.
clearly has ghost martyrs. Pull the Soonkin.
Gesundheit?
Face. The remnant of a nobler age, twisted by evil.
That is a real bummer.
It's fine. We can't actually kill him.
It's even worse.
Oh, good. You won't get rest when you're done with him. That's better.
He'll probably come back and attack us later.
He seems to refuse to leave this place.
I don't know. Once he knows that we're actively out and after Strahd, he'll probably come out to try to stop us.
I don't think he would basically be doing the exact same thing Strahd is doing, because then he'd basically be allying himself with Strahd.
Yeah, I think he will.
There's
Because he's convinced that his existence is worse than non-existing. He thinks he's punishing Strahd.
there's one and only one way to find out.
That's true. We will find out if he ever does show up again. But I have a sneaking suspicion he will. Or at the very least he'll try to find us. I don't know if he'll be successful.
I mean, I don't know. If he has scrying powers, if he's as effective as Strahd has been,
it takes for Revenant to reanimate?
You do, and barring me being wrong about this, I believe it's like 24 hours.
Oh, great. So we can't even rest here because he'll just come back and find us.
Though very technically, a Revenant needs to like find another body. It doesn't reanimate, for whatever that's worth.
So they need to possess another corpse?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's probably why the graveyard's all out of, like, all dug up and out of bodies. Because their spirits infected the...
Huh.
I'm not sure if I described it as dug up.
Didn't you?
No.
Okay.
Now...
Maybe I just assumed.
Now, if we clear out this place, then go out to the graveyard and destroy all the corpses, they can't reanimate here.
Yeah, but he'll still know where we are, so
No.
if he finds a body within, like, a mile of us...
But it's 24 hours. A long rest is 8.
I think
So...
it'd be better to move.
While it is arguably a little generous, since there was like some time before like the fight started proper, you technically got to choose where you started, assuming you're like here-ish, because you kind of came over and then reoriented to like kind of
Well,
talk.
wherever I was standing,
Front.
which was probably up here, I'm 60 feet up in the air
Like you could have
because of my flight speed. So assuming there's 60 feet of ceiling.
And I would have been probably 5 feet away from them, but on the same plane.
Oh, okay. Then, if it's okay, I'll put you here. Yeah. I can...
I'm fine where I'm
You're between two spaces.
Well, he can't reach over here and move it, so just push him in.
Well, like, a specific request instead of I'm fine where I'm at.
I
Fucking
can't tell, David.
Ismark. Huh. I'm gonna say Ismark was here. And Irina was curious. She was here. That being said, it is one of the enemy's turns first. Specifically, this spectral warrior who moves to attack Siguror. Your AC is 16? Yeah?
50.
Okay. This ghostly warrior swings out with its blade, striking Siguror twice. The first slash of its spectral longsword inflicts 8 damage.
No rage yet.
And the second inflicts 10.
Okay.
Earthly blood drawn by unearthly force.
Well,
It then becomes multiple people's turns at once. That there are a couple of enemies, but they are not as nimble as perhaps they could be, even as ghosts. And there's also Siguror and Simon.
you can go first if you want, because I have a bunch of action on my turn.
Oh yeah, because you're little guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then I will activate Rage, and yeah, aggress the guy that's next. Yeah, just aggress the one that's next to me. Might as well. Reckless.
You roar, and then throw everything you can into the fight.
Glad I did that. That is a 22 for the first,
Which is a hit.
and a 15 for the second.
That is a miss.
Okay.
Can I roll religion on these Scream Warriors? How many weaknesses and resistances they have?
Sure.
13.
Well, should they be undead, which logically you feel it's reasonable to assume that they share the typical, the typical resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. You also feel that immunities to cold, necrotic, and poison are more likely, especially given their spectrally state. There's probably a grab bag of things that also won't work the best on them, but as far as weaknesses go, you don't think there really are any outside of the obvious.
12 damage, and that one is surrounded.
You strike with great force. Your ancestors rise up in response to your success.
That was with the blood spear.
You then strike out again, only for your weapon to skim along its armored, shimmering surface. It then becomes Sasha's turn.
Okay.
The more warriors close in.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cast a fireball here, basically, so it spreads out these three but doesn't hit Irina. And I'm going to roll damage for that. I'm casting it myself, not with the staff.
Okay.
So, insert this Horngaard Imperial, and I fire a ball of flame at them. They all need to make me a dexterity saving throw against spell save 17. So rising up in the world.
Boy, are you.
Or take 33 fire damage.
You fire your bead of light that erupts into the familiar cacophony of flame, greatly disrupting the three warriors, none of whom are able to make their saves.
Okay. I'm also going to fly 30 feet back. And I assume they're still all up. So starting with the ones closest to Irina, my guys will pile on and start attacking these dudes, giving themselves advantage through flank. I'm going to make that first attack right now. I assume an 11 misses.
It does.
Second attack. Does an 18 hit?
It does. And I'm sorry, you told me which one you were mobbing, but I was looking the other way.
This one first. Okay. 18 hits, that's 7 damage. However, it will be halved to 3 because of magic. That misses. That's a crit for 5, 6, 7, 8, but half to 4. And then the last one is I assume a 13 misses.
It does.
Okay. Then yeah, 2 with my 5 hit. And did a total of 7 damage.
Your servants march and attack from any and every direction, though the spectral warrior weathers the assault fairly well.
A quick question, are revenants resistant to non-magical weapons too? Because if not, on next turn I'll target him. I didn't think about that.
I believe so.
Okay. And are any of the creatures here immune to the paralyzed condition? I know some undead are, that's why I'm asking. And I can roll a religion check if you want me to. Or if I don't know, that's fine too.
You've got a hunch that they are, because a lot of undead are. It's not a for sure, but if you had to guess.
Well, that's great. That's my turn.
Enemies of a certain category tend to share features.
Undead nervous systems are perhaps more tricky to manipulate. Because they're dead inside. Or some lore reason, I don't know. Someone somewhere just got itchy. I don't know.
Right, that's
It doesn't matter how you slice it. The truth of the matter is that there are more enemies to attack. Those enemies do advance.
Which one did your servants surround? Oh.
One moves advances upon Crack and lashes out twice. Striking once. And missing once. The first blow from this ghostly warrior inflicts 5 damage. It swings out again, but this time, Crack's got the drop on it. However, another warrior decides to put that to its own test.
Bummer.
Also moving in on Crack and attacking.
I was trying to think.
How high was the ceiling in here, by the way?
It is... Silt is...
Nice young reference.
30 feet.
Oh. So I wouldn't have been 60 feet up? Because I can't be.
I took a guess to try to be fast, but now I want you to be able to do things.
I'm just curious, because if I'm close to the ground, I
Okay.
think I'm going to move closer to people so I can give them the order from the high point.
Actual answer.
I kind of forgot about that. If you're gonna have a tendency to fly, should some people's be holding onto it?
No.
If they're gonna be on the ground.
It doesn't specify how tall, so I'm gonna say that either it's tall enough that you can get 60 feet up, or there's some holes. Because there's some holes on this floor in the ceiling itself, and I would be surprised if there was one in here as well.
Okay.
It's tall enough, one way or another. This warrior repeats his brethren's success, and that he swings up once successfully and once unsuccessfully,
Alright.
inflicting 4 damage to Crack. It growls an unearthly growl as it then becomes someone else's turn. In particular, this one's. As it
Oh, she's gonna get awed by 3 people.
So, as that one moves, it provokes attacks of opportunities from all my guys. Because it was surrounded.
got you guys from there. So I actually think it's gonna attack you guys. I run my
These are my guys they see.
Yes.
Armor class of 15.
It swings out at the closest of your servants, and it proves too nimble for it. It yells and swings out again, successfully this time.
As the servant dodges, it's gonna be like, ah!
The second strike's retribution is for 7 damage.
It gets chipped, but it's still good.
It then
Looks like there's 2 holes.
It then becomes another
Not a
enemy's turn.
shitty flute.
Listen.
It
This was only 2 holes.
moves to attack.
2 and then plus the 3rd from when it got hit.
Right, so that's a shitty flute.
Or like that one guy from Beauty and the Beast, Cogsworth.
I see.
Here's a clock.
It swings out. Irene is able to defend herself for the first shot, but not for the second. Which is weirdly how this is going. Sorry. Thank you.
Bonus action to reduce the
Reaction.
Reaction to reduce the damage she's about to take.
Do you have enough range on that?
It's up to anyone I can see within 30 feet, if I remember correctly.
I was unaware, so. Alright.
Yeah.
You've used it before, but I didn't remember.
reduces it by 4 damage.
You're able to interfere with this enemy's attack. It inflicts a wound upon Irina, but is much less than it could have been. I don't need this. I don't need anything, because it's... It's Crack's turn now. I was about to say Siguror's turn. It's like, oh. Siguror already went.
Siguror gets 2.
22. 22 hit.
Okay, who are you attacking?
The one that's on.
There are 2.
The first one. The first one attacked.
Very well.
Undead, +2.
Yeah.
What'd you get that?
You told me that was a 21 or 22.
22 hit.
I remembered that he made it. So I made it.
16.
Whew.
6 plus 8 plus 2.
Are you gonna activate your sword? The Crusader's Mantle.
Oh, yeah.
Activate your sword.
Yeah, fine. I'll do that too.
If you're cool with him, let's rock.
Yeah, I'll just allow it this once and almost every other time.
Then you add a D4 to that attack, and additionally now everyone's going to be adding a D4 radiant on all their attacks.
But that the one time that I don't let you, oh boy, better watch out.
So that's 17. And then,
You strike out powerfully against the foe that assaulted you
my second attack. Oops.
for 17 damage.
Oh man, you got 4 rolls, don't count.
Remember, Crusader's Mantle will apply to your unarmed sushi, unarmed keepers.
Yeah.
Well, it's a,
Yeah. 14 on this one.
I mean, they're on top of you anyway, so.
That's a miss. 14.
Yes.
Alright, and I'll punch him now.
Beat his ass.
That one does hit because I got base 17, so. Yeah. Which is 26. So D6. And D4.
But yeah, D4 radiant. Plus 6.
Yeah. 11.
And
13 damage.
+2 from
As
undead,
your
right?
allies are
No, but only
As
first weapon attacks.
Yeah.
not
as your allies are emboldened,
Or fist man.
you strike out this
The
phantom
ranger makes
warrior,
it very clear that
taking it
specifically
straight
applies
on the
to
chin.
attacks.
Your strikes count as magical by now, right?
Yes.
It now becomes, after that wonderful turn,
Magic hands.
it now becomes Ismark and Irene's turns.
And they will benefit from Crusader's Mantle as well. Their weapon attacks will do an extra D4. Basically everyone but mine, and that's only because I'm flying up.
Ismark advises Irina, go around. As Irina.
Is that smart? Because that'll provoke an attack from the other guy.
No, well,
He's far away.
That one?
Yeah, he's far away.
It's got enemies on him.
he doesn't have to just move here.
Nobody's telling her.
Because she goes around and that's 5 feet from that
He
guy.
then moves here, taking a glance back at.
Then fine, she does it this way. And moves there. He already took his fucking... It doesn't...
Well, because I'm just mentioning because they've all gone, so they all have their bonus reaction. If you'd be willing to send
It's
it
just
to
reaction.
it.
Bonus is a totally different thing on your turn.
I keep misspeaking. I'm sorry.
I was under the impression that if you were already surrounded by enemies, you couldn't take an opportunity attack. Their servants mobbing this person. She's not moving outside of him.
I mean, if you make the argument they're too distracted, it's up to you.
That's
Enemies
what I
don't
thought.
automatically have to take opportunity attacks just because they're evil.
If it's not the rule, then I'll ask.
Especially if their game scores low.
She moves around Ismark adjusts himself, taking a glance over his shoulder at Horngaard as they attack. Irina striking out, but unable to pierce the enemy's armor. Ismark doing a thing.
Wouldn't he have the...
Maybe. I had forgotten about that altogether. He has his own motives for asking her to move. He strikes out twice and successfully. Though on the first, he attempts to chide the Phantom Warrior. Come, face me if you're man enough.
Oh, he's trying to draw. There we go.
Harming it.
Do you have the D4s from Crusader's Knife?
No, not 4 damage.
That should, even if his weapon is non-magical, the damage, the bonus damage from Crusader's Knife won't be reduced because it's radiant. So, just something to keep in mind.
That's cool.
But it doesn't make the weapon magical.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
And while his efforts are not particularly well met, given his weapon is not magical, he does harm the Spirit Warrior further.
Well, I mean, it's about to be.
Maybe.
Unless Croc's like, no, I want it. I'm just assuming that the fucking huge, like, baller guy's big ass sword is magical, considering I sent something magical. Hey, I could totally be wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like when you got in here,
Yeah,
you're
leader of
you're
a
close
knightly
enough.
order that's clearly a magic great
Through the
sword.
wall, the magic, I sense
Maybe
magic
it's
through
English.
this wall. And then when you got in, you were like, oh, I get it. I see. Because it was still up at the
Yeah. No, it would have been up until I cast.
He's got a magic sword. He also has a turn that he's going to take right now.
No. I say nay.
I say get nay-nayed.
No!
As he rises from his throne, his old body creaking, he looks at Sasha and growls gutturally and then turns his attention to the ground troops.
Yeah, but you wish you could fly, didn't you?
Doesn't everyone?
Rise up, ground gang. Oh wait, you can't. Flight is the best defensive spell.
Gripping his blade, hilt styled in the motif of dragon wings, he attacks.
Seems awesome.
He strikes into Siguror at least once. He said earlier here he's 13?
15.
15.
I mean, unless he disarms my shield somehow.
No. He strikes out, his blade striking through the air with a sharp whiz and wail.
Like the sword screams?
No, just like this sound.
Or like he's cutting through the air.
Okay.
You can hear his skill on the air as he's cutting. Dealing 24 damage before reduction. So, alas. 12 damage. He then attempts to capitalize on his advantage and strike again, though this time your defense is ironclad. You've rebuffed him for the moment.
Oh, wait, I'm already being flanked, but attack recklessly just for
You roll
future
twice.
if anything else does attack.
I will attempt to remember. And then comes back around to the Phantom Warrior that faces you.
What did this guy do?
This is not the big one.
He did nothing because I forgot about him. What he does is he strikes Irina twice. Once and twice. She does her best to withstand the damage, though she is worse for wear.
Understandable.
It then becomes that Phantom Warrior's turn, who I was speaking about, who then decides to attack twice against Siguror, locked in battle. As it howls its battle cry, it slashes out against Siguror, scratching through his chest. It then rears back and plunges it into Siguror's waist for its second attack. Inflicting 4 damage from the first hit after reduction. And 7 damage after reduction from the second attack.
Okay.
The one where it pierced you. After its turn, it once again becomes Siguror and Sasha's turns.
Okay. I am going to land and cast Greater Invisibility on her. Veritas, Canto, Oculos. And I'll reach out. I think it's a type spell, so I'll reach out. This hand on her shoulder, she disappears. And then my guys are going to keep swarming on this dude, except now they'll actually be able to do some damage. Unfortunately, my flight ends because Greater Invisibility is a concentration spell. It's concentration. It sucks. Yeah, I said it. Can't just stack up a bunch of buffs.
I was okay. Yeah, that's probably a smart idea.
Unfortunately, I'm just double checking something. Yeah, okay. She's invisible now. And yeah, my guys will make all their attacks. Does 15 hit?
It does not.
Jesus. Does an 18 hit?
It does.
4 physical damage, 3 radiant damage. I'll just split it up because, the radiant isn't reduced.
Right.
I assume at 22 hits, 4 radiant.
Actually, that first attack managed to bring this Phantom Warrior to its end. It disperses in a wake of the first weapon's assault.
Then the others will come over and help kill the one that's near me. Oh, you know what? They're actually going to run over and help Crack, because Crack's getting double teamed. So this one? Or
Okay.
which one did you hit of these two?
The one first one.
The one David's pointing out?
Yeah.
Alright, they're going to run over and try to finish off that one. To take some of the pressure off of you. 22, I assume, hits. It deals 6 physical damage, 4 radiant damage.
Okay.
I assume a 20 hits, and it deals 1 radiant damage and 4 physical damage.
Okay.
Another 20, this time for 6 physical and 4 radiant. And I believe I've made 4 attacks.
Puts it down. It cannot withstand
Yeah, that was my
march
last
of your servants.
And that was the last of my servants. So they run over, just ripping and tearing and punching.
Puffs of astral matter and ectoplasm fly, disperse in the air as it howls and rages its perhaps last.
And Irina is invisible, so they won't necessarily know where she is. And even if they do, they'll have disadvantage on attacking her. Although they'll have disadvantage anyway, because I'm next to her. I'll also tell her to move. I'm telling her to change positions so they won't know where she is anymore.
You receive the slightest noise of acknowledgement. What will you be doing?
Things were going on. That guy dealt a shitload of damage. We're surrounded by undead. I'm going to drop the blood spirit and actually draw the thigh bone of Saint Markovia, because it only crumbles if you're fighting vampire or vampire spawn after you use it. And I will aggress the big bad, as it will.
Very well.
And where I am, that is considered flanking, since his marker's on the other side. I'm just kind of blocked. Okay.
I believe so.
Then I shall do so. That is a 24 to hit.
Yeah, well, what do you know?
And a 29 to hit. For both.
Those are both hit. Wait. What was the first one again?
24.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
As you could tell, I was skeptical of your remembrance, and I was close to the place in the book where they talk about items that you get.
So,
Yeah.
okay. 4. D6. Thank you. Because it itself does a D6 and does an additional 2d6 rating to undead or fiend, along with the D4 from Crusader's Knight. For the first attack, it is 5, 9, 10, 13, 17 damage.
Alright.
Then the second. Okay, 25 damage. And I know he was at full. Another effect of it is if a creature I hit with this has
25 or fewer hit points.
25 or fewer hit points.
It has to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or be instantly destroyed.
And if they are successful, they are fine.
It does not have that much.
Figured. That was just a thing thrown out there as a reminder. He is also surrounded.
You do strike out against Horngaard, and the bone fizzles and crackles as it makes contact with his undead flesh. A divine light raging against him as you strike, doing significant damage. Though he still looks fairly hardy. Your assessment is correct. This will be quite the battle. Then becomes one enemy's turn, at the very least. Maybe even two, depending on where that guy was. Nope, he's dead. Just one. Into this one now goes. Undeterred by Crack's skillful dispatching and the skillful attack and his servant's skillful dispatching of its comrade, it strikes out. Connecting twice. for 4 damage, and then 9 damage. It then becomes Crack's turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. The 2 attacks against Crack, those would have been with disadvantage because I'm within 30 feet of him. I meant to bring it up.
Because the idol,
Space.
right?
Looks like they still hit anyway, though.
I believe they still hit. However, they might not have. So, there's that. How Crack strike back.
Sword. Stop.
Sword, get one.
Boner sword. Good. That hit because I got 27. So.
Or did it? It's been long enough you're certain that 16 is what you guys need to get.
Apologies.
They're armored in these ghostly forms.
Does he seem to be more armored, or is armor in better condition, I suppose?
He seems to be more armored.
12 damage on the first hit. 12 damage.
Alright.
That one in because I took 16, so 26. Oh yeah, wait, God damn it. Sorry, damn it.
Radiant.
Yeah, radiant.
So just add how much more?
I said 12 last time, right?
Yeah.
So, 15. Sorry.
Yeah.
And,
I do that.
17 on this one. For damage.
Alright.
And my punch. I forget that. And I go to 24, so. Some damage. Oh, god damn it. 7. 8 damage, sorry.
You hack, slash, and blast it in the face, or wherever you chose, harming it significantly. You can see its form wavering and wisping. It's close to destruction. Not quite there yet. Then, if I am to be trusted, becomes Ismark and Irina's turns. In character, Irina moves somewhere and stages an attack. Out of character, I'm about to move her. And then make her attack. Where are you? There you are. The Phantom Warrior closest to Sasha calls out in the familiar language of pain as it is unwittingly struck from behind. Nice. Ismark looks to his left, looks to his right, and does the best thing he can do. An attack. Press the attack, rather. On this enemy. Managing to connect twice. Once and then again.
D4.
His first attack technically being enough, with it in its damaged state to destroy it. His second attack, he turns and utilizes strike Horngaard. It then becomes Horngaard's turn, I'm pretty sure. Let's check. Nope. Becomes this enemy's turn, whom, without a target, or rather with Irina gone, strikes out at Sasha.
It has disadvantage. Because of arm class is 18. But if that's gonna hit, I'm shield ready.
It is not.
No, bummer for him.
Oh wait, it does attack twice, so we'll see about this one with disadvantage.
I mean, if it does, go ahead if you want to save the thing. I don't mind. You stand
It
it.
attempts to strike out twice, but your defenses foil it twice.
I hold the staff out in front of me because that's part of my armor class. I'm just like,
I forgot the staff gives you where you see.
yeah, +2 to AC and all saves.
You stand tall, mighty, as it becomes Horngaard's turn. He attacks. Does surround mean disadvantage?
Disadvantage on attacking anyone but me.
Okay, that's
If he attacks, then he's fine.
I did not attack recklessly.
He
so.
prepares.
Oh,
But he has
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no. He strikes out in angry retribution at Ismark.
That'd be useful as
Disadvantage. And if he's still.
I mean, he would have had disadvantage anyway for my thing.
Oh, he isn't. Strange. Okay.
However, he connects at least once.
Okay. And due to being surrounded, since he did hit something other than me, that damage is counted as having resistance.
Okay.
Which, yeah, my turn's coming up. I can spend my reaction to reduce it further with protectors.
He's able to successfully slash Ismark once.
Reduced by 9 damage.
Which I think is after the half.
Yes.
Harming Ismark not so much. Or at least not as badly as he could hit.
Do attacks always have to do 1 damage?
Then becomes one of the ghostly warrior's turns. He continues to strike at Siguror.
He, I believe, is out of range of the icon. So I think he just has advantage.
Would he be? I wasn't thinking about the icon.
The icon's range is 30 feet?
30 feet.
I think that should cover it.
Yeah.
I can do more damage to you if you like, but
No.
unfortunately, you're still struck twice. However, one is for 4 damage before any kind of reduction, and the other is for 6 damage before any kind of reduction. It then becomes, I do believe, Siguror and Sasha's turns.
You can go first.
I will strike out at the big one once with the mace. And how damage does the one flanking me appear to be? I mean, I know they're undead, so it may be hard to tell, but maybe he's really hurt.
He seems to be in relatively good shape.
Okay.
If his other companions are any indicator, because the three that formerly got blasted by fireball, like, definitely looked like roughed up and tattered before they died. One still does. One facing crack currently doesn't look too
awesome. Great. First attack got a 14 to hit.
Okay. Well, I mean, you already know that's a miss, so.
And second is a 19.
16 is what you're going for.
On the big guy?
No. I forgot you were taking the big guy. It's a hit, though.
Okay. Damage. And it's all magical and radiant.
Alright. Your strikes, empowered as they are, seem to be gaining on Horngaard's facsimile of vitality.
Okay. He is surrounded again. Just do first attack thing.
Alright. And is that it for your turn?
Yes. Yeah.
His eyes of ancient hatred now focus on you. As it is Sasha's turn.
Okay, so. Now that it is my turn.
Do you have any melee touch spells that aren't beneficial?
These are useful to me.
He's the greatest melee touch spell of all. Fireball.
You know, that's totally true. Fireball. No,
I mean, wouldn't the best touch spell be Burning Hands?
Which is markedly moved.
No to you, not no to you.
Probably just gonna have to imagine this. I can't really do anything else.
He's doing his best.
Level 4 mine's like this 2 days.
Oh.
No, well, you know what, let's, I'm gonna settle my dudes on this one first. See if I can clear him up, because that'll be maybe a better one of life. So,
He is in very poor repair. He's quite likely to be able to.
okay, cool. Crit. 5 radiant, 7 physical.
Well, what did you crit?
Yeah, I know, that's why I rolled it twice.
Oh, I thought you only. No, sorry, I thought you only rolled like radiant twice.
No, I rolled it twice.
That is absolutely enough to take him down. His leaking, writhing form becomes not but a whisper on the wind as he is destroyed. A shout on the wind.
I'll send the rest of my guys here. Another crit. 4 radiant, 6 physical on that one.
That is also enough to dispatch that.
Send the rest of them here. That's a miss.
And ads are good at ad duty.
Another crit. Eight physical, 4 radiant.
You
And another critical.
Jesus, they keep swapping crits.
Good. 3 radiant, 8 physical.
There's the purple, then the green, then the purple, then the green.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of crazy. Be better if I weren't getting halved on half of this.
Oh, right, because they're mainly just... Because for some reason, magical creatures don't count as...
Yeah.
They strike into the creature. Is much more of its self left. So while they make good progress, it is not down. It looks with battle-weary hesitation or irritation as it is beset upon by your servants.
Does a 29 hit as I cast Firebolt?
Yes.
On this one? Alright, cool. 4 damage.
Damage is damage.
I thought maybe I could finish him off. Sack this.
It definitely appears closer as your fire burns away at more of its ethereal self. Semi. Not really. Metaphorically. Don't worry about it. And then, I do believe, is everybody else's turns. I believe Crack comes before Ismark.
Yeah, I'm gonna go where the music comes.
Very well.
I guess with advantage because I'm gonna position myself there.
Very well.
So,
Is here acceptable? Or
yeah. That hit. But not great. 6 plus the 13 damage, 3 radiant. They're all magical. And then my next attack.
actually, that one attack of yours is able to put it to rest.
Alright.
Yep.
Slash is destroyed.
I'm pretty sure I have enough movement to get to the boss, so I'll move there.
Boy, do you. Is there a particular place around the boss that you would like?
Any way that I can get advantage.
Is it adjacent to me?
I believe that there are a few ways that you can do this. Is here alright?
Yeah, that's fine. And my next sword thing. Does a 21 hit?
It does.
16 damage on that one. And then my fist. And I'll spend another key point where I can get another attack, so 2 more attacks, I guess.
Okay.
26 on that one. 2 hit. 26 to hit.
Okay.
10 damage on that one. And then my last attack, which is a 25 to hit.
Alright.
12 damage.
You strike, pound, and blast into this monumental man for significant damage. He weathers your blows like a champ. However, you know that you're making progress.
Yeah, well, you can't reduce it because it's magical, so.
It It then becomes his turn.
Clearly runs up to me, provoking 3 attacks of opportunity.
And being surrounded, so he does hit you.
He does not do those things.
After all that shit I talked to.
He does turn. He does turn and lash out, almost like a wild animal, at Crack.
Disadvantage. Or was that it?
Yeah, that was.
Okay.
I don't know how he'd be getting advantage. He's throwing as a
Some
mimic.
creatures can just give themselves advantage.
Throwing as a mimic.
He might have an effect that gives him advantage for something.
Huh.
I don't
Wait,
know
surrounded
the
gain advantage.
Yeah, monsters can have all sorts of stuff.
He swings. You duck. He then, gripping his blade, locks eyes with you. You see, you almost feel yourself falling into the dark voids that are his eyes, sparsely lit with the flames of rage. I want a wisdom saving throw from you.
Oh shit.
Sir. Remember about your effect.
Yeah. I got stillness of mind. I kind of looked at remember all the details.
It makes him immune to any effect that's charm or fright. So if this is a charm or fright effect, he's immune to it.
But
I think.
while one would find the darkness, the void, and that sparse flame of hatred the only things to look at, you find something else at the center. Your center. It cannot be robbed from you. Even this, the most torrential of battles. Give or take a Strahd encounter.
My bad. It doesn't make him immune. He can just end it on his turn for free. So technically, he does have to make the save.
Oh, that's a weird way to word it.
Yeah.
Wait, end it at the beginning of your turn or end of your
Wait,
turn?
is it a charm effect though? No. Okay. Then, yeah.
I got.
He still has to make the save.
I got 4. I rolled
I'm
2
just
plus
going
2,
to
so.
stick with what I already said.
Okay.
I mean, you're gonna end it on your turn anyway.
It then comes back around to you made the save, so it's fine. I think. Wait,
Is it 4?
I said
Yeah,
4. 2 plus 2 again. I mean, wisdom saving throws 2. I rolled 2, so.
Next level will come on.
Like, can you ever really waste a saving throw?
But on his turn, he's gonna fucking.
I mean, does it state at the start or end, or does it say on your turn?
On your turn.
this is what I get
Huh.
for stupidly leaving my notes in the car and going, but I'll be fine. Pardon me. Despite saying, what's the point, this may actually be important. I hate this so much. Terrible champ. Well, I mean, I guess not all. Doubted police said that to Fred. Don't worry, you're fine.
Well, yeah, to try to complace him, make him complacent.
Oh,
Like-
never mind. He's immune to frighten because of the icon of Ravenloft. As part of protection from
Oh
good
my
and
god,
evil.
the icon, right?
As part of protection from good and evil, he's immune to charm, frighten, and possession by creatures of the intended types. So as long as he's a fiend or undead, which is clearly an undead because, duh, he's immune. So, never mind. It's been truly a roundabout path, Jiro, but I believe we have come to the
Fucking
conclusion.
Jesus.
No.
No?
There is but one more twist.
Is he not undead? Because then he wouldn't have
Oh
been.
god.
No, that's not the twist.
Well, the hole is
However,
really old.
as a result of me going, I'll be fine without my notes and then looking stuff up, there are two things that are different. One in this instance and one that has been different all along. In that, as this battle has been going, you, since you've had a front row seat, Ismark and now Crack, in a little bit, will know that he regenerates to a degree on his turns. Not
Is
that
that
much.
negated by radiant damage? Because we've been doing radiant damage.
Or
every turn.
fire from the firebolt.
rooting for you guys. I hope so. I mean, also listen to that. Yeah, totally. So, whatever. You guys
Cool.
are doing fine. The other thing is, I thought that this tag did some damage. That's the only reason why I was rummaging around in my phone, and I thought that might make a difference. But I found something that is a little different. So I must retract. You attempt to find your center, but can only find darkness. Darkness with muffled rage that contains within. It courses through you, almost forces its way through your body. And you find the effect humbling, paralyzing.
Oh.
Paralyzed
Brutal.
until, we'll say the end of your next turn. You're paralyzed until the end of his next turn. And then,
Oh, wow.
out of character, you're supposed to be frightened after that. That's not.
Right.
That's
Turn into that.
You'll be able to recover and ride the wave, but later.
Well, we better take him down for next turn, otherwise he's gonna get 2 free crits on you.
In the meantime, it comes back around
Oh, wait.
to the
yeah.
top with Sasha and Siguror.
Make your attacks.
Yeah, I'll say I'll go first. Attack 20 for the first, and 25 for the second.
I'm gonna start rolling out my dudes, but mine will go out there. Sure.
And no, either of these attacks bring him to 25 or below. He has to make the
19.
Or less. Or 18's what I rolled.
Oh, that's good. In fact, having been pounding on it this long, he's a little better protected than the spiritual warriors, but not that much more, in that he has an AC of 17.
17, okay.
Okay. 17 damage for the first. I know if either of these attacks bring him 225 or lower, he has to make the save against being automatically destroyed.
Okay.
First, and 24 for the second.
Damage?
Yes.
He's striking into it quite vigorously. He's not yet down.
Okay. And he's not 25 or below?
No.
Okay. Then for my bonus action, I'm going to try and hammering horns him away from Crack.
Very well.
Opposed strength. It's 17. Decent.
Very well. I'll check this out. You attempt to muscle him around. It does you no good.
Damn.
Alright, so my turn starts. All my guys hop on him, dealing 1 misses, the rest of them hit, doing 21 physical, which would be half to 10, and 8 radiant. Additionally,
He's swarmed as your servants come and then attack from hither and thither.
I really wish I could upcast that fucking.
He technically got a turn, so do that a little later.
Oh.
She's invisible, so like you don't know. But she's
Yeah.
She's helping.
Her sword has a bit more blood on it than we remember from when she de-stealths.
Maybe I could. Well, I think I cast magic on this. And I will
Let's
cast.
might be a waste of charges in case we come across another fight.
It's not charges. Spell slots. My staff doesn't have polymorph.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to cast. Who goes before the enemy? After me? Because I really don't want him to rip into fucking crack twice.
I mean, the damage will be reduced.
Who goes before you?
Who goes after me but before the enemy? Just as Mark and Irina?
Yes.
How wounded does he look?
Fairly. He looks like he's still got some fight in him. I mean, definitely.
Okay, I will cast a 4th level Mind Spike. So he has to roll me a Wisdom saving throw against DC 17.
As he will.
Does the icon give disadvantage to saves or something?
No, it doesn't. Can I get a Santa Thursday?
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, just make
Here's a save against 15.
17.
Well, out of character, he does not make his save. In character, you feel his mind, craggy and unyielding, unless you know what type of force to exert.
28 psychic damage. Also giving me back a 3rd level spell slot because my divination expert got that.
And also causing him to fall to one knee. He growls as ichor pools in the sides of his eyes and his mouth, and his body yields to your psychic might, crumbling.
Cool. Does his body just like stay there?
No. It starts to turn to dust, but very, very slowly.
And everything on him? Like his armor and everything?
No. There is a shout upon the wind, loud and vengeful, almost as if it is right in your ears, undertoned, if ever so slightly, by the mournful wail that sounds like a dragon. Despite this victory, you still do not feel at ease,
I wouldn't imagine.
knowing it's only temporary.
Yeah.
Put back the mace and re-pick up the spear. Put that back.
Okay.
Ismark looks upon.
I have a question. So their soul basically travels to a new body and then reanimates it, right?
Yes.
After 24.
At least that's how normal weapon is.
Does it start traveling right away? Because Mind Spike, if they fail their save, I know where they are as long as we're on the same plane of existence for up to an hour. I can pinpoint their exact location. So can I tell the direction he's going?
Yes. In this unique instance, you can tell that he isn't going in a direction.
He's staying right here?
Yes.
Must be bodies here. I will say aloud, he's going to attempt to reform here. This place is not safe. It will be 24 hours before he reforms completely, but once our business is attended to, I say we go on our way to Kresik.
That is likely a wise decision.
You know, when I was young, my mother used to tell me of stories about them, you know? I'm sure your father told you both as well. Righteous and noble knights who stood against Strahd and were defeated.
Yes.
I used to want to be one back when I was a child. I used to get a stick and bang it against a tree and tell them that I would defeat the devil. And my parents would always shush me, afraid that someone would hear me.
Though it was told to me in more of a cautionary light, I always found it a little hopeful. Even in the darkest of retelling, they held the valley, protected people for some time.
Now look at what's become of them.
Not all.
Enough of them.
And the sooner we get out of here, the better. While you were talking, by the way, Sasha felt like a hand on his shoulder. She's still invisible.
Oh,
She's-
yeah.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck?
Were you not mid-rivery, you might have been more concerned. And afterwards, you were like, oh yeah, that's probably fine.
Right, okay.
I should have been more concerned about that hand, but it's a fine hand, so it's okay.
Yeah, after, I should note after a minute she becomes visible. Greater visibility doesn't last that long.
Really? Huh.
Because it's the combat one.
Then towards the end of the scene, she pops into existence.
Now she's pretty messed up, so I'm going to use the Icon of Ravenloft to heal her for 3d8 plus 3, which I will roll right now. 6. 14. Is she still missing health?
I think that does her, but I'm going to double check.
She got hit like 3 times, so considered.
She is still somewhat wounded.
Okay, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds with one of my spell slots. As I've added it to my list through my level in Artificer, and now that we don't have a healer, I have to do fucking everything. 7 on my first casting of Cure Wounds. Because I have to get that into this. So.
I think that does it, actually. That,
So she's healed all the way?
yeah,
Okay, you were down
takes
health,
care of
right?
the rest of it.
Okay, I will cast a Cure Wounds on Crack for 6. Literally the minimum I can give you. Are you still hurt?
Yeah. I was down 22, now I'm down 2.
Now you're down 16,
Yeah.
right? No.
Wait, no.
Yeah, 16. You're down 16, so I'm going to cast another one. I was about to say, fuck this D8. I'm doing it for another 10.
Suppose while he's doing this, can you spend Second Wind out of combat?
No, it has to be in combat.
That's fine.
And then I am going to... Are you down health?
Not a significant amount. It's like 38. 130.
Yeah, you saw 100 points of luck. What
Yeah.
about you? And last I checked,
Ismark got hit.
Ismark. Fuck Ismark.
He did get hit. This is true.
Fine, I'll heal Ismark. But only because Irina would be mad at me if I didn't.
If anyone I could do it.
Oh yeah, Crack has some charges.
But the thing is, I can get my charges back. You can still use yours if you want. Do whatever you feel like that. And I heal him for 7. And that is my last first level slot. And then I am going to cast Locate Object.
Okay.
And I have a question, actually, before I cast Locate Object, David. With Locate Object, I can locate a specific object I'm familiar with, or a type of object that I am aware of. Now, as I was watching the recordings, I remembered that that Van Richten told us probably the last treasure we're looking for is a sun sword. A sun sword is a type of weapon. Can I argue that I can cast Locate Object to locate a sun sword within, the 1,000 feet of us?
Well, you would also know, like, the
down
legend
that.
of it, right?
But in order for me to determine a specific item,
Uh-huh.
I need to have seen it up close before. However, I don't need that for a type of item, such as a sun sword.
Okay, well, I'm also wondering, because if we know a bunch of shit about
said it'll
Strahd.
work.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will then cast a Locate Object, and because I cast Locate Object at a second level, that gives me a first level spell slot due to my expert divination. I'm saying that so much, it will eventually become my catchphrase. But I just want people to know that divination is awesome, and not just because portent. If you take a Mind Spike as an offensive spell, and you make sure to take divinations, it gives you so many more spell slots. Such a fucking good ability. Anyway, so I cast Locate Object. Is there a sun sword within 1,000 feet of me?
I think I will tell you after the break.
Okay.
And we return. You, Sasha, utilize your mystic senses to search for a type of weapon. Specifically, that type of weapon. And you do not find it within 1,000 feet of where you are.
How big is this fortress?
Um,
Like, standing from this room, does 1,000 feet in all directions cover the place, basically?
I was gonna guess not, but no, it does.
The treasure is not here.
There's a little square equals 10 feet that I never noticed on the map things until a little while ago.
Mayhap is the one in the grave that the trinket opens.
I'm not sure how something in a grave is a fortress within a fortress, but it is something we should check anyway.
For what it's worth, there's one apparent exit in this room, apart from the secret door that you traveled through. It is rubble strewn and leads out to a cluttered hall. If your vision from here is to be trusted.
Okay, so if the treasure isn't here,
It
Once
seems like
you-
we're being led here like something. Like I'm guessing the dragon maybe wanted us to find something.
let's keep looking then.
Alright. Did you...
I cast Locate Creature, Shadow Dragon. Nah, I didn't do that.
Spirit dragon.
Which way? Because you didn't go through... Going through the secret door didn't take you through the curtain. Like, the curtain was elsewhere, and you
Let's go
went
back for the
secret
curtain.
door, where you could head out.
I'll
To the hall.
cast Detect Magic because we're moving.
Okay.
And in case you want to update his stat block, we did give the Great Sword to Ismark because he can wield it, right?
Yes. He takes it with no small amount of reverence. As you backtrack, you cast Detect Magic, and the curtain is pulled aside to reveal a hallway. In addition to just being a hallway, there are a couple of doors, both on your left side, one and then another, and there is some rubble that comes from a different hallway that connects to this one further down.
Like rubble coming from it, like that way is inaccessible due to rubble?
No. More like you saw rubble scattered outside the other exit to the room you were in, so there's probably a hallway there is a hallway that connects to the one that you're in right now.
Okay.
It'll be cluttered. This one is relatively fine.
Alright.
A door, a right turn, and then another door if you ignore that turn.
Door first, since that's closest.
Sure. Is my Detect Magic coming up with anything?
Yes, but it's a little weird. However, that gets answered for you.
Can I check the door?
Oh, sure.
I got 26.
Actually, I'm going to correct myself and say no. And you go over the door, and you don't find anything abnormal about the door. Other than, it's old and very well worn. Pushing open the door, you break a number of cobwebs and stir up quite a lot of dust. Through this, you see faded war banners adorning the walls of a very spacious chamber, in the center of which stands a heavy wooden table. There's an iron chandelier that hangs above this table, which is surrounded by 6 high-backed chairs with wood-carved dragons perched atop them. Slumped in 5 of the chairs are skeletal humans in tattered chainmail.
Not cool.
One of the figures tilts its head in the group's direction and growls, "Why do the living disturb the dead?"
Can I roll history to recognize this guy too, maybe?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, they're all sitting around a table.
21,
I will say,
24.
I disturb no dead person here.
You faintly recognize this guy. There aren't a whole lot of descriptions about him, but there's an inner core of knights that were maybe not as strong as Horngaard, but they were like his honor guard.
So like a king's guard.
Thinking a little more, there were 5 of them, so that's probably what you found. One of whom you remember, it's not recorded to this guy, one of whom Horngaard was particularly close with, especially, but that's a side extra. This guy that you're looking at right now, faintly familiar. You think you've heard him described amongst these others.
Did,
These are skeletal
I
people?
have a question. During Horngaard,
Yeah, they're thin and shit.
during the dude earlier, one of the people he mentioned being taken from him was his beloved.
Yes.
Did he have a wife?
Or was one of his honor guard female?
Not according to history.
Now, how close were these two guys?
History books is fairly close.
Huh.
But they don't go into much more
They're not
detail.
going into detail? Okay. I'm just curious.
Hey, if they slipped that in there...
Anyway, I will say... I'm not even sure what to say. I'll say, we do not wish to disturb you. We were lured here by the shadow of a dragon. I believe it wanted us to come here and find something. But so far we have found only people who attack us and wish to keep Strahd alive.
Another one at the table, not the first one that spoke up, but a different person farther down, speaks up. despite the scratchy voice, it's a little more softer tone. It says, yes, we can feel it, or at least I have. The spirit of Argynvost is not at rest. And I cannot blame him.
Do you know why? Can souls not pass on after? It has been my theory, but I have no way of... Pardon me if what I say is inappropriate, but should you and your allies not have passed on to the other side many, many years ago?
A different one of them speaks up. Yes, if our work was unfinished, we could not, would not, ignore the call of our commander. We came back to finish what we started. It was simply unforeseen that what we started was finished not by our own hand. The one who spoke a little softly murmurs, or perhaps not at all, and is shot like a angry look from another one of the knights.
Please. Although his state is torturous to him, I am sure, it is not the end. None of this will end until he is defeated once and for all. People are still suffering. People that you claim to protect. That you gave your lives to protect.
Another one speaks up. We protect no more. We only kill and sit. Now that our work is done.
By staying here and not helping, are you not protecting Strahd?
Perish the thought. None of us would dare do anything that would protect that horrible creature. The soft-spoken revenant says, you must understand. As knights, we are sworn. Our oaths are our strength. And in spite of circumstances, we cannot simply break them, given circumstances.
Out of character, do I know the oath they took? Like, is that something that that is historically known? I can roll for it if you want.
Not word for word, but you're getting the idea that he means like the oath of loyalty they swore to Horngaard. Not necessarily his order's oath, but like he's referring to. He is our commander. We have sworn to follow him and to trust him, which in this case is a bit of a bummer.
But he is. That was the name of the guy we just fought, correct? Okay. He is protecting Strahd. He knew that we are enemies of him and wished to vanquish us due to us wanting to defeat the devil. He is protecting Strahd.
He sought to stop you from ending the creature's torment. It is no form of protection. Not in the same way that you use the word. Another one says, the devil will rot eternally. And that will be justice enough. It is all the justice that can be had.
From what we have seen, he is greatly enjoying his current situation.
I think they know something we don't. Like, I think Strahd maybe isn't as happy as, like, he gives off. And they know that, which is why they're doing that.
Well, I mean, I know currently he is not very happy.
The soft-spoken revenant, like, frowns, but there is a different one that says, and you do not know him truly.
I understand. But there is a place worse than this, yes? Surely you know of it. A place that no one was allowed to pass on to. But if he is defeated and the mists receded, he will go to this place. And and he will suffer tortures 1,000-fold. Burning hellfire.
Another one says, there is no worse hell than here.
I thought maybe being paladins, they might have thought that.
The one that has not been critical of you so far says, perhaps there is something else. We cannot raise our blades or rally ourselves without the commander's call, but perhaps there's something else. What do you seek here outside of Strahd? Perhaps information? Perhaps you're... Perhaps... Oh, it's been some time.
Your master, your true master, your master's master brought us here for a reason.
Did he?
Would you know why?
Oh, I would believe if this is true, it would be because the spirit is not at rest and wishes for us, for this place, this dreadful task to be ended. Surely, why else?
Then what of your oath to your master's master? If he wants us to end this charade, would you not help us in doing so? Isn't your oath to him more important? Or at least of equal importance?
Should that not be the tenets of the one you follow as well?
What are the rebels?
Out of character, I assume they all swore an oath to the dragon as well, which is why I'm trying.
Even their leader.
And I should know, Sasha's more talking to the one guy who seems like not, you know?
One of them says, even if the spirit is at rest, there is no following it. There is nothing now. Our task is done, don't you see?
It is
There are
not done.
murmurs around, but the guy that you were talking to...
If Strahd can be defeated, the mist can be receded. You can all go home. And I'm sorry, what was the dragon's name?
Argynvost, if I am saying
And
it.
Argynvost will take you to where will take you beyond the mists.
Another one contributes. We are fine here. If our imprisonment means the eternal damnation of that creature, it is a sufficient price to pay. And none of us would disagree. Meanwhile, one person that doesn't outright disagree says, we understand your plea, but our oath is our oath, and loyalty is loyalty. But perhaps there is a way that you can help. If the spirit has spoken to you, then that must mean that you're capable of doing something. I feel that this is true. There's something here. There was long ago. A light of sorts.
We did see a vision.
A light that protected this place. Not just this place, but the valley. Long ago, we originally retreated here. Long ago when we were holding this place strong. And Strahd was merely a devil of a man. And Argynvost, still alive. But it's gone now, isn't it? You did not see a light when you came in, did you?
There is no light here.
We saw a vision of a great battle where the dragon breathed upon the battlefield and then flew to the castle. And when we got here, we were led in by the shadow of dragon.
You saw its ghost. Did
Or
you see?
something to show me. Or something
you-
he was wishing to show us.
Have you been so difficult for me all these years in this room? But there's something important I want you to ask you. I feel this is important. Have you seen you've seen its ghost, but have you seen it? No, that doesn't feel right.
There are vestiges of the dragon still around the keep.
Do you mean its body?
Yes. Have you seen its body?
We have not.
Have you been to its tomb?
No.
We will go to its tomb. What is its tomb?
Yes. Perhaps that is why it calls to you. It's so difficult to remember. It must be perhaps near our graveyard.
We will go. You cannot help us against Strahd, but can you lead us there? Is that against your oath?
We are to stay here, but I think now that you've said it, the graveyard, yes, there is. I believe that near the graveyard there is a small mausoleum. I think that's where it is, where it should be.
We will go. Without a character, if it's a small mausoleum, I don't see how they got a full-size dragon skeleton in there, but
Whoa! Wait. There mentions there's who is carrying the trinket?
what trinket?
Medallion to unlock the grave.
In
May
Kresik. Totally different
Near
place. No, in
No?
Kresik.
No.
It's incredible.
Okay,
Yeah.
misunderstanding. Wipe it.
I appreciate it, good, but
Maybe they can't get into it because they don't have the key for it or something.
Oh, they
Sealed
can't
away.
because they aren't allowed to leave this room because they're loyal to a crazy person.
that would be cool, but I'd be very thankful that you would go. Certainly there must be something there. Something worth it. Otherwise Argynvost wouldn't have reached out to you.
Thank you.
As everybody starts to leave, I will stop and turn towards that one. We did see another one of your own wandering the grounds near Ravenloft. We do not know who he was, but he seemed to hold a part of himself, unlike some of the ones we have come here to see.
That is strange. Without a better description, I couldn't say much about him, if it was a him. And I care to you, you're sure.
Yeah. No. Throw out general, if there was anything super descriptive about him, or if he was just nondescript knight dude of the order.
There's enough that you could give a bit of a description.
Might as well. This guy seems to be hanging on for some type of hope. So I'll try and bolster that.
The group, unless they have other plans, backtracks to where they believe they need to go.
Yeah.
They find no enemies in their way, and entry to the cemetery proves easy through the chapel. Passing through the cemetery, it is worth noting that there are several graves that appear to have been dug up and now lay empty, though the wrought iron fence that surrounds it is intact.
Is it locked?
Yes. Ages of rust hang upon a padded lock near one of the gates. On one of the gates, there is a stone structure at the corner of the graveyard, easily reachable.
Okay.
Tarnished silver-plated gargoyles shaped like dragon wormlings cling to the stone-tiled roof of this mausoleum.
I'm going to be keeping an extra close eye on those.
An 8-foot-tall, 4-foot-wide white marble door set into the wall is engraved with a name. Argynvost.
Perhaps you should check it for any things that might be left behind.
I swear.
And I'll give him guidance.
Mine.
You do your best to check around this door. And apart from a healthy amount of dust and maybe a little bit of dirt, you don't find anything.
Let's go inside.
Speak the name of the dragon. Maybe it's like one of the other tombs and straws that we came across.
Let's say the name of the wizard again. Man, this works everywhere!
You never know.
Free power staffs!
Again, another one. Sweet.
Take dual wielder so you can dual wield the staves.
I'm not going to use them in melee. I'm going to be casting spells from them.
No, but you
Kazan
can use
is
them
like-
undefeated.
Kazan is like this one trick GMs hated. I had 50 staffs of power all over Grove.
Or maybe we'll open the doors. There's another thought that I
I'll
have.
attune 3 staves of power. And yeah, I have so many spell slots, you guys.
Now, while no traps were found, there is resistance when you attempt to open the door. It will need to be pushed.
We'll strike that. I'll get guidance.
I'm going to try it a few times, and if it doesn't work, then I'll top rage. Just strength check, right?
Yeah.
17.
There is a distinct whoosh of musty air as you crack and then push open the doors, revealing the interior of a dark and dusty mausoleum. There are 4 empty alcoves with raised floors that lay within, and etched into the far wall is a verse written in some type of language.
Is
Of
it
character,
Draconic?
does anybody know Draconic?
I do.
Then you recognize it as Draconic.
Yay.
However, the mausoleum is empty of anything else.
I will head over to it, and I, taking over Sahar's perceptions, read the Draconic. I didn't think any of my languages would come up. What do you know?
Alright, what's the most amount of languages somebody could start the game with?
No. 7, probably.
Walking over, Sasha. Somebody mentions that there's some writing over on like the distant wall, and you're like, yeah, just a
Well, when
hunch.
Sahar
It's
looked around, I
Just a
thought
hunch.
I'd see it.
It's Draconic, and then you look and you're like, yep, it's totally Draconic. In that Sasha is able to read, "Here lie the bones and treasures of Argynvost, Lord of Argynvost and founder of the Order of the Silver Dragon."
I'll read all that aloud. I'll look around. I doubt anything that's here remains. It's probably all in the real treasury of Castle Ravenloft. Out of character, not that bullshit fake treasury. Fucking asshole.
Maybe this is the fake treasury they're here to ward off grave robbers.
I doubt it. The dragon would be buried with its treasure.
Well,
There's no
that's
sign of
Us.
treasure or dragon.
Perhaps.
Remarks.
You're right.
the
There's
dragon.
no body.
There just seemed to be a space in here where it like should be, like a pedestal or like.
Of
maybe
course,
there'd be,
Strahd
like,
took it
place.
back to his castle as a trophy. That's,
Mm.
I don't- in fact, I'm willing to bet the desecration of its body being removed is what is disallowing the dragon to pass on.
How terrible.
Sounds like something he would do exactly. Out of character, while we were in Castle Ravenloft, we didn't see like a big fucking dragon skeleton hanging around, did we?
No.
If they want us to go back to the castle and get that skeleton, that is probably not going to happen. The next time we go back is probably going to be the final battle.
It's a big place, but in none of the rooms that you were in.
Didn't we look over at like a majority of the castle?
No.
No.
Really?
That place is huge, dude.
Oh.
It is
Oh, wow.
impressively huge. I was like, good, your castle Ravenloft. Good job.
I guess look around. There
I
might
think-
be something that could have been overlooked. Maybe.
The room is pretty open. It maybe takes like a minute to like look and go, there's nothing here.
Does it also seem to be a good size and like position and stuff to basically like place the body of a dragon? Like comparing it to the visage that we saw, and I'm guessing it's probably bigger than that.
You know, dragon expert, but thinking about what you saw, like, if you had to guess, you might need to cramp it a little or place its bones in a special way, but you probably could. In fact, you definitely could.
If he's a real asshole, he'll just have the skull. Like
I'm
on a mantle.
Surprised he didn't have the skull like above his throne. Okay, there was no like dragon skull or anything inside the throne room, right?
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe. I might be able to.
Might be able to what?
A spell of teleportation. I could sneak into the castle invisibly, fool his magic sensors, attempt to find the skull and teleport out with it back to. I mean, if the teleportation circle back at
I forget which
Valaki is not finished, but once I learn the spell, it could be finished, and I could teleport me and the skull back there, and then transport it normally the rest of the way. But the chance of doing that without Strahd finding is low.
Well, if he is distracted, knowing that we are out here somewhere, as said, constantly attempting to scry on us, that would probably be the very last place you would expect anyone.
I could not smuggle us all in, though. I cannot cast that many invisibility spells. And I would need to go myself in order to cast the spell of teleportation. I would also need to learn the spell of teleportation, which I do not have yet out of character, because I took a level of artificer. Otherwise, I would totally have it. But that is all talking in supposition.
You'd also need to be able to transport the skull.
I can deal with that. If it is a skull. If it's a body, that might be harder, but if it is just a skull, I can transport it. Out of character, I know Tensor's floating disc.
Ah!
I can just create the disc under the skull and move it.
And it would just follow you.
Yeah.
Is there perhaps some way that Venric could help?
He could. If I could get it to Valaki, he has a wagon. He could help get it the rest of the way.
You would need to leave his tower.
He would, at that point. I do not know the spell yet anyway, so it will not be till after I learn it. We should go back and tell the knights of what has happened to their...
Mayhap it will encourage them. Desecration of the one that they follow, their leader.
You're right. Out of character, yeah, let's just... Or I technically in character, let's go back and speak.
There was no sign. Was there any signs or anything of like basically rough stuff being done in here, like damage to the door?
I really wish we found the dragon skeleton while we were in there, because then
No.
we could have fucking...
Like, this place has been pretty dust-strewn and pretty, like, neat.
And besides us going through here, just from what everything that we've been told, the stuff with history and everything, the dragon died a very long time ago.
Yeah, when
Correct,
Strahd
yes.
was still a human, right?
So, in my head, my reasoning would be that somebody would have had to come through here after that, while everything was still fucked up and dusty and like basically untouched. Yes, it's very long, but layers of dust continue to grow and pile on. So
he
any
probably looted the dragon's...
differential or difference in anything in here is kind of obvious.
Unless
If
it's from
they've been touched.
1,000 years ago. I think
Well, I'm more wondering is like if there may be like a hidden passage or like anything in here that somebody might have gone to. Because why tell us to come here if its body is in the castle?
It is an intriguing idea. By coincidence, you're going to get the answer to that question in a moment.
I was going to say, I think just to let us know that its body was stolen and ask us to go retrieve it.
And technically, it didn't show you the way over here. The dude you spoke to
Yeah.
thought you should come here. And making your way back, you don't encounter any...
10 Vishtani bandits come out. Argyle stabs you in the back.
Fucking-
Ah!
How are
You
you still
dick.
alive?
What?
Did you give the book back? How are you still alive?
Just because he gives the book does not mean he's gonna die.
That's what I figured would
You
happen.
make-
Which is why I apologize
You
to him.
make your way back unhindered. The other dead knights around the table, like, kind of scoff and don't really pay you much attention as you approach the one who's paying you attention. And says, yes, you. What did you find?
Your master's bones have been taken, desecrated. You believe they are at Castle Ravenloft.
He gets a far-off look in his eye.
I believe
Yes.
your master wants us to retrieve them and bring them back.
Oh, now I remember. Now I remember. Yes, it was so long ago. A dreadful battle. When we faced and fought what we thought would be our last, and Argynvost with us. It would be no surprise that such a wicked creature would not stop at simply slaying our master, but stripping it and taking it as a trophy for himself. It's almost too much to bear. You believe it is back at his castle? It would be likely.
He is the most likely suspect out of everyone we could think of. Who else would want the bones of a dragon?
Sparse relief.
Any wizard? Just literally any.
Sparse relief from the murder of his brother and the loss of his love. Hopefully no release at all. At least if the seer was to be believed.
Who was this seer?
What a time that was.
Do you remember? Was it Madame Eva?
It is difficult to remember her name, but I know that she is
Was she Vishtani?
an older woman, one of the Vistani leaders here.
Vishtani don't live longer than normal, right?
Yeah,
Then I'm gonna ask,
they're human beings.
Family?
when did she... Family what?
Vishtani family line? Daughter.
Possible. When
Maybe.
when did you go to his castle and were turned away by this woman?
It was after darkness, after death had plunged us into unlife. We heard the call of Horngaard. We came back to finish what we started. We slew hundreds of Strahd's ilk, marched ourselves to the castle only to be confronted by the seer. She told us that Strahd had died, that he would live no more, that he would now suffer eternally for the slaying of his brother and the loss of his love.
If it was Madame Eva,
Content,
why would she protect him?
content with him having condemned himself to the hell of being what he now is, trapping himself here as he has. We marched back.
The seer is the one that has sent us on this quest to begin with.
Is she?
Yes.
Technically, I'll say, not. She merely read our fortune, which she is obligated to do. Whether she cares whether we succeed or not is irrelevant. You read the cards because that is the gift that has been given to you. Out of character, correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe
But
that.
Vistani seers, yeah, they have to. They don't have a choice. She might not want us to succeed at all. But that would explain why she does not allow her people to leave, even though it would be better for everyone.
If Strahd were to fall and all the Vistani are here, there would be huge backlash against your people. Because the only thing that is stopping people from outright
I don't know
attacking
why
them
she wouldn't
is
just-
Strahd.
And if it makes any sense. We will attempt to recover your master's bones and bring it back here.
Please. We must. This is our only hope. To regain the light once lost. Not just us, but the valley. Perhaps even the land. I would be eternally grateful.
Unless anyone has anything else they want to say or add.
Irina does wonder aloud, why protect Strahd at all?
Who? Them or?
Madame Ava, if he had already become as powerful as he was,
I do not know.
Does she have the power to turn him into what he has become?
No. She is a seer. She might also be a spellcaster like myself, but with no power to turn people to vampires.
didn't the book mention? I feel the book would have mentioned if she had a hand in his creation.
And she did not. It was some dark power, which I'm assuming we will find at the Amber Temple.
There's a
Probably, if
flicker
I had to guess, the same
of
power that made
recognition at that term in the man's eyes. And the other revenants kind of grit their teeth a little bit when you mention it.
The Amber Temple.
The one you're closest to, whispers, the Amber Temple. I remember.
what do you know of it?
You have been there?
I have not. It is said that originally the Order was founded here so that Argynvost could keep an eye on it, hopefully watch out for it or watch over it, help prevent should any evil emerge from it, help stifle or destroy it.
Strahd has a teleportation circle leading directly to it.
Out of character, no, he doesn't. It's not a teleportation circle.
Teleportation stone they throw into a magical teleportation
Siguror
fire.
doesn't distinguish that, but you do.
Well,
So
it
that's
matters
fine.
because if it was a teleportation circle, I could teleport us there. But it's not, so I can't. Very different.
You say that, and you get to play Mr. Magic and be like, that's not what it is.
Same
Yeah.
as. Where is this temple?
This is in the Northern Mountains. Out of character, we already knew where it was.
Did we know its exact location?
More or less, right? That's the fucking elf guy told us.
Yeah, so roughly. You have a rough location, you don't have an exact. And he also, backs up where you guys think it is by saying, it's to the north, through the mountains.
Tulsa. What was the name of that mountain pass that I asked you about in an earlier session?
You have it.
Wasn't it like Tolshenka?
I'd have to look, but it's like that, yeah.
Yeah. Through the mountain pass.
Yes.
Is there any special means that is required to get in to the temple?
I do not know.
If it has some sort of arcane lock, I may be able to defeat it.
We had no need to act against it, At least not while I was part of the Order.
Strahd has a means to get into it. He may be corrupting it.
Once we will get there, I can stop him from teleporting. To there.
He once again gets a far-off look in his eyes.
Out of character, I'm just like thinking, okay, if there's means for resurrection at the Amber Temple, what if Strahd is taking the dragon's bones to the Amber Temple to try and resurrect it as like an undead dragon under his thrall?
Well, that'd be pretty dope.
That'd be
but
fucking holy shit.
That'd be cool.
Okay, sorry. Just... Okay.
well, we won't know till we go there, and we must go to Crescent first. So, I would, out of character, I would say after Kresik, since we have to go back to the fucking Vishnani camp near Valaki in order to get the elf dude, then we should just try to rescue the bones there. But I'm not gonna have to. Unless Kresik is just full of experience points, I'm not gonna have teleportation circle by the time we're done with that. So even though it's going back and forth, we probably out of character are gonna have to do the Amber Temple first, just because I have to hit level 9 in Wizard before I have teleportation circle. And we could try to break in and break back out with the bones, but
Oh, nice.
I take all the stones,
don't
throw it
think
in,
it's-
jump through. Bam, we're gone. We have
and
all
then
the
he
stones.
follows us right after. That's a bad idea.
And then you just lock him in place again.
For what it's worth,
He almost
You-
certainly has disintegration prepared. That shit is not going to work.
after throwing in a stone, like it was a while, so it's cool that you forgot. But like when you throw in a stone to the fire, like if you wait like maybe a minute, like a new stone like magically takes its place and the flame like goes back to white to do it again.
Right.
If you use it.
If you took all the stones, then like one, you'd have to hope that it doesn't do some magical fuckery when you try to leap through the fire with all of them. But two,
Also,
after
if
like a
he-
minute, they just
Also,
reasonably they
he
just come
might
back.
assume that we know about the fire, and now the iron golems might just animate as soon as we approach it. That's a possibility. I'm not saying it's gonna happen.
If
but
he's the one that put it in
if
the Iron
he's-
Golems, he can
I like
set
where your
any
head's at, but
requirements.
I like where your head's at. But
I
there is
think
an
a s-
obstacle.
You take one stone, throw it in, then throw in another stone so it goes to that location, and then wait. Scatter them
With
across
one
the road,
level, I'm pretty sure I could get in undetected, find the bones, and teleport out. Secret agent wizard.
That'd be pretty risky, but it'd also be pretty cool.
I think it could work.
I could.
In character, however, I will say, if there's nothing else for us here, we should hurry on to Crescent.
Hopefully this is what was the name of the dragon again? Sorry.
Argybust.
Vasted wants us to find.
Well, we'll just have to have faith that it's us. And yeah, I'll start heading out to the front. Keep up detect magic in case any other magic items ping off, but fucking like
There's
no
no magic
place has magic
Anything in
items.
their room that they're in, is there? Like besides them, if they are.
No.
Yeah. I assume probably the only magic item in here was that guy's sword.
Maybe.
And the fucking weird, like, illusion, goddamn.
It is
Bust.
highly likely that after
Fucking
it is highly
bust.
likely that after their defeat, this place was raided and
Yeah.
plundered.
I assume he only got to keep his sword because of reasons.
Oh.
He had it hidden somewhere or something, I don't know.
Group.
Now he's probably gonna want to come after us because we have a sword.
Yeah.
Group come.
Well, he was probably going to come after us anyway.
He vowed to stop anyone who would ease Strahd's suffering, and he believes that Strahd's slaying would end his suffering. So, you have plausible reason to believe that if we were going to come after you, he already had a reason. He's got a couple. He wants his sword back.
Oh come on! He would have to believe we were fluttering. Come on. Who
You just really don't
is
want to be
keep-
wronged.
Who is-
You're just like,
No. I'm going like, what do you believe we're capable of doing that? What do you
well,
really
we
want to follow
killed
us?
him, yeah.
However, as you exit this place, you are confronted
Better not be strong.
by a powerful foe. A number of powerful foes. It is Strahd
Oh,
that stands before you. He is flanked by a number of spawn. And there are some wolves that are an odd distance away. Because in character, you guys don't know what the deal is. But out of character, there's that point I described where he was like really angry and like made the few of them.
Right.
oh, yeah, just friendly fire.
They're oddly away. So if anybody's
How
not
the hell did they find us?
Strahd strides forward. He stops 10 feet shy of the archway. As you guys haven't left
How
yet.
far away?
Oh, wait, the archery.
You are
Are
like
we still inside?
Yes. You are inside and like you see him and the group of people before you have actually left. There are like some stairs that he is like walking up.
But he saw us. He sees us.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
A barely contained rage is masked by a face of haughty civility as he stops 10 feet shy of the archway. I will give you but one chance, for I am capable of generosity. Hand over the book that you've stolen from me.
Do we need the book? Do we
Out his hand.
do we need the book anymore? Or have we fully researched it?
Yeah, we need the book. I am going to say to him, did Argyle not bring you the book? I gave it to him.
His composure immediately shatters. What?
Argyle. He encountered us on the way here, and he said that you had sent him to retrieve the book.
His mask.
That he would say
His
nothing.
mask immediately like begins to erode as it's just, Then I shall gift you this evening before you adequately pay for your ill manners when last I hosted you. And he then turns
Actually, no,
into
I
a
might-
mist
Oh, okay. Oh.
and like whirls, and you can see like his face kind of like in the mist, but like big as it kind of whirls and wafts and flips off.
Do the rest of them leave, or do they attack us?
Or are they waiting like they can't come
The
in?
vampire spawn like look, and then they also start to follow.
How
They
close are they following?
They can't mist. What do you mean? How close?
Like, is he gone really fast, and then they just start walking off?
Or are they trying to catch up?
Not too much faster. They're able to keep like up with him a bit. Like they're maybe a tiny bit slower than he is.
Damn, because I was gonna fireball him if he disappears.
The wolves like, howl and also like take their leave.
Okay, yeah, we need to start fucking moving now.
Well, that is dealt with. Let's just go. I'll turn to Irina.
Quick.
Okay.
For now.
I'll cast Phantom Steam.
Mayhap he has given up scrying for you.
Be irrelevant now. So, help her up onto the horse. I'll get on. We'll go. And basically, from now on, I will just note that when we stop to camp, specifically that night, Does anything bother us before we camp that night?
Not before then.
I
No.
assume
Okay.
Kresik is like
Once
a few
we
days
camp,
away or something.
I'd have to check.
Once we have found a campsite, I will begin casting one of my new spells. I will hold up, what was it? A sheet of lead. Oh, there was like 5 things. A sheet of lead and some other stuff. There was like a bunch of...
A mix mash of shit.
And I will incant per Adonai Elohim, Adonai Jehovah, Adonai Sabbath, Metatron Aglamathon Verbum Pythasium, Mysterium Salamandre, Conventus Antra Nomorium, Demonia Collegad, Almosium Gibor Johasa, Evam, Zaretanermek, Veni. And as I finish casting Mordecai's private sanctum, now, I should note this is a 10-minute cast. I just didn't write 10-minute spell words down because
Do tell. I'm quite curious.
So what Mordecai's private sanctum does? It's one of the spells I picked specifically because I'm tired of this shit.
Are you sure you didn't prepare his faithful hound?
No, I prepared Mordecai's.
Well, he would have told me that he needed to buy spell components for it if he was going to do it.
And I wouldn't be
Right.
able to cast it because we can't buy spell components.
Right.
I was more joking, but he's
So
right.
Mordecai's private sanctum, you make an area within range magically secure. The area is a cube that can be as small as 5 feet or as large as 100 feet on each side.
Damn.
The spell lasts for a duration or until you use an action to dismiss it. It lasts for 24 hours. Non-concentration. When you cast the spell, you decide what sort of security the spell provides, choosing any or all of the following properties. Sound cannot pass through the barrier at the edge of the warded area. The barrier of the warded area appears dark and foggy, preventing vision, including dark vision, from appearing through it. Sensors created by divination spells cannot appear inside the protected area or pass through the barrier at its perimeter, meaning we cannot be scryed as long as we were within the private sanctum. Creatures in the area can't be targeted by divination spells of any kind, which means if he tries to scry the area, it won't work, and if he tries to scry any of us, it won't work.
Or any of
specifically.
our horses.
You gotta choose one of these?
No,
types of
I
protection?
choose all of them. Nothing can teleport into or out of the warded area. Planar travel is blocked within the warded area, which means also that if we're in a place where the fire can teleport into, if I have the spell up, he can't teleport to it, the fire will be blocked. And planar travel is blocked, meaning that if he comes up on his horse can't enter the ethereal plane and then come out in the middle of it because planar travel is blocked too. So basically the only way he'll be able to approach us is by physically walking into the area, and the area is dark, foggy, and hard to find, and ignores his dark vision.
And he has to know exactly where we
I
are.
thought you said you chose between something or
You
other.
choose any or all of the following properties, and I choose all of them.
Why would you not choose all?
I don't know.
That's weird. But okay.
Casting the spell in the same spot every day for a year makes the effect permanent. Additionally, I can upcast it to increase it by 100 feet on each side for every spell slot I use above 4. I
Over
have
1,000 feet.
That still sounds snazzier.
Well, if I cast it super high up. So yeah, I'm creating 100-foot, or as big as the campsite is, it doesn't necessarily need to be super huge,
Yeah,
but
no,
like as big as the campsite and a little bit past it so that we can still move around, I'm creating a private sanctum. Sound can't go through it one way or the other. Sound can't come out of it, but can still go in, so I can hear things approaching, but no matter how much noise we make, it won't come out. It's dark, and this darkness negates dark vision. No teleportations, no divinations, no scrying, and no ethereal travel to this place. And that is what I cast.
And if something tries to describe the area, this area will just look normal.
No, it doesn't happen.
Oh.
He'll scry, and then it'll be like scrying has no effect. And it'll be like, what the fuck?
Oh,
And I'll be like,
no, he would just assume that we saved again. Or something. If he's trying
no,
to
because you know if someone's saved. He would know it was something like a non-detection spell or something similar, where it just fails.
You are findable, but you are much, much, much harder.
Much harder.
To find.
See, I picked this spell specifically because I thought, what if he tries to scry on us when we're sleeping, seeing as like I'm using portents, he might try it while we're sleeping. So, bam. Yeah, I did some research on spells specifically to defeat scry.
Smarty Mr. Rishani.
Smarty wizard.
That you are able to do so.
And it'll help against any of his normal dudes looking for us, because the wolves will be like, yeah, why,
We
they
don't
have
know
dark vision. They won't be
It'll
able
make
to
it
use
much.
yeah.
Does that mean we have campfires shit that doesn't leave the area
No,
either,
won't
right?
leave.
Oh, okay, cool.
No sound, so we could do like heavy work. Wouldn't matter.
Then,
Yay, magic.
with this new spell in hand, when you make camp for the night, you make it, at least Sasha, I won't speak for everybody else, confident that you are as protected as you can be in this dark, cursed land. Whether or not your current luck and magical might will hold is something we will find out next time. But for now, I have been David Harper, a person who did a thing and also does art stuff on Instagram and Twitter as artist David Harper.
I'm Marvelous. You can find more of me at Let's Camp Initiative on Twitter, where I speak for some of the people, some of the time. Additionally, I have a bunch of things going on. In December 24th, I will be on Fuck Cancer Roll Dice, where we will be doing Game Monsters and other childish things with some other pretty cool people. Additionally, I'm on the Tainted Lands Twitch channel, playing in the Tainted Lands of Scourge of Antimore, playing Luca Duelar, so come check that out, that's pretty cool. And during October, I think October 4th and October 20-something, I'll have specifics in the description below. I'm going to be on the Chromatic Chimera channel playing some games with them. Not tabletop games. I think we're going to be playing some Jackbox games, but come check that out. Watch me kick ass at making T-shirts because I'm the best. Yeah.
And people are still voting
Alright.
for Halloween game or whatever for us.
No, that vote ended already.
Damn. Okay.
We did it. Unless there's anything else that either of you wanted to contribute before we end, we will end it there. Alright, well there you have it. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.